So this is the pre-amplifier circuit for the His Wheels team. In theory, this should be hooked up to the EEG electrodes at the input, and then will be put out, or the output will go to the Arduino microprocessor. Right now we have it hooked up to a wonderful oscilloscope, which we will be reading in just a second. For this one though, we have a chip in the middle, which contains two operational amplifiers. And there's two stages to this amplification through the two operational amplifiers. The first stage has a 100 ohm resistor and a 470k resistor. And the second stage has another 100 ohm resistor and a 100k ohm resistor. And between these two stages and these four resistors, we should have a gain of about 4,700,000. Now, as you can see on the oscilloscope, that isn't quite true, but we do have a gain. And Allie's going to tell us more about that.
Go now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't do it, Michelle. I can't do it.
So essentially what we have is two channels. The top channel is our input and the bottom channel is our output. The top channel is reading at about a peak-to-peak of 180 to 200 millivolts, and the bottom channel is reading at about a peak-to-peak of 5.12 volts. Now, in reality, we can make the signal start off much slower or much smaller, and we can still have a gain that's very, very large, but our oscilloscope will not read voltages lower than this. So we're starting out with a voltage of about 200 millivolts, like I said earlier, and we're seeing a gain of about 5,000, a little less, actually about 2,500. But as you can see, we're starting off with a sine wave and ending with a square wave, and that's due to the fact that there's clipping going on, which is cutting off the top and bottom of our signal. So in reality, this signal is probably much larger than the oscilloscope can read. So this is good evidence to prove that our amplifier is working, it is amplifying a signal, but we just don't know to what degree, and we would not be able to tell until we actually hooked it up in practice to EEGs so that we could amplify the brain signals, which are between 1 and 10 microvolts, up to the required voltage, which is about 5 volts. So we're hoping that in theory that would work, but that is a test that we cannot test right now, so we can't pass or fail that. All we know is that our amplifier seems to be working and has good reason to believe that it's functional.